No. Don't miss Travelers 411 with Stephanie Abrams each Sunday night from 5 to 7 p.m. on AM 1470 WNN.
People are learning in a classroom how money is made from home at Online Trading Academy. Just how much?
$100, $200, $300. They were able to get to $500 a day in a little over 8 months. $500 a day, folks, is $10,000 a month.
Get classroom instruction on how money can be made from home and how risk is limited. Learn stocks, options, futures, forex. Learn step-by-step from professional traders at Online Trading Academy.
Everyone starts off very small baby steps. You know, if you can't average $100 a day, there's no way you're going to be able to make $300 a day or $3,000 a day in the markets.
Thousands have learned how money can be made from home with limited risk at Online Trading Academy. Attend a free half-day class to see how it works in Broward and Palm Beach. Online Trading Academy. Call now. 561-674-9800. 561-674-9800. That's 561-674-9800.
Now you can get Talk 1470 WNN on 95.3 FM too. Loud and clear. Health and Wealth Radio, WNN.
The opinions expressed on the following sponsored program are strictly those of the host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors. It's time to take a few moments from your busy day. Unwind and be inspired as you listen to the insights of empowerment psychic Halley, Elise, a top 100 psychic, speaker, and author. Be sure to contact Halley Elise at halleyelise.com. And now, the Halley Elise Show.
Welcome, everyone, and thanks so much for tuning in and or watching. Nice to connect with you today. I'm hearing everything about Harry Potter. How about you? It's funny, with the books, I only read a little bit, and they were supposed to be children's books, and yet we have lots of adults who read it. But I think I've seen every movie, and I'm looking forward to seeing the next. So I was thinking, what about magic? Are you folks familiar with magic? And I don't mean the magic as in you wear a top hat and you pull a rabbit out. I'm talking about that magic that is considered esoteric or beyond the norm. Do you know that we do magic every day? We do. When we give thought to something, we create something out of nothing. That's magical. That being said, you have the ability to constantly create and recreate whatever it is that you desire. And the reason for this is we have a lot more power, a lot more, if you will, abilities than we recognize. Over in Russia for years, and I remember going back to, let's say, the early 70s, they were doing a lot of research in respect to kinetic energy, in respect to psychic energy, and you would see things like telekinesis, things being moved with the mind. Is it fake? Is it real? It's real. And if you're thinking, that's kafooey, I don't believe it, you should do a little research yourself. But the reason I, again, bring this up is because Harry Potter is dawning here. And we all get very excited, the idea of magic and being able to change where we are and change our destiny and just change circumstance. And we do have that ability. We don't necessarily use a little magical wand, and we don't necessarily have Hogwarts to work with, and we don't have a magical owl per se. Then again, you never know. In my house, it could be a dog, cat, bird, fish, lizard, as my friend found out the other day. I've talked about this lizard a couple times, but it's kind of funny. I have this nice big curly tail, and he runs up to my car when I pull up, and he goes, feed me, feed me, feed me. And I'll say hello, and I'll tell him to wait, and he'll wait, and then I'll say, well, why don't you come near the door? And he'll run up to the door. So I had a friend stop by the other day. She was helping me with one of the foster kittens, and she's looking at this lizard going, really? So it's not the first time. Bottom line is, that's magical too. If you have the ability to connect with nature, you have the ability or the desire, if you will, to be in nature and connect, then it happens. Sometimes it takes a little while till the animals realize you're on the same frequency as them. So for instance, if you are looking to go to the beach and you want to see a manta ray or you want to see some other sea creature, try this. Before you get into the water, give some thought to being as peaceful as the water. Give some thought to being literally one with the water. So the idea is that when you are submerged in the water, you're not separate just because you're swimming in it, but you are a part of the flow that's there. And watch what happens. You may find a manatee show up, or a ray, or any other number of creatures. It's magical because we don't realize on a day in and day out basis that we have this ability to direct energy. We have this ability to make things happen, but we do. Now, going back to Harry Potter, it's fun to think, okay, we have little devices that we can use and tools, and there's all sorts of things that we can be trained in. Well, guess what? You can do the same thing with your mind. If you grow up believing that everything is concrete, everything is square, like a box, then that is pretty much how you live your life. But if you think about how magical things are, for instance, a rose blooming or a butterfly emerging from a chrysalis, it's pretty amazing. Or simply the human body, how amazing it is, because we functioned in such a phenomenal way. Yes, medical science can show us why certain parts of the body do certain things and what they represent, and when we get ill, what to look for to fix those things. And yet, a baby's born and they just breathe. And with the delivery itself, we know how it's done and how the baby moves and what's going to happen when it's born. But we really don't know what the trigger is. What actually triggers a child to start moving into the birth canal? That's magical. My point to all this is, no matter your age, no matter what your belief system has been up to this point, if you want some magic in your life, you want more joy in your life, you want to excel, start thinking that way. Start immersing yourself in the magic itself. And what that means, because some people are like, oh, okay, what? But that doesn't make any sense. It means use your mind. Fantasize. Yeah, you heard me right. Fantasize. Go ahead and use your imagination and see yourself as that magical wizard or a mystical priestess who just waves their hands in the air and things happen. And smile while you're doing it. Make it playful. Then read books on manipulating energy. Read books on quantum physics. Get your hands on anything that has to do with bringing things to fruition, including just the basic stuff, meaning goal setting, getting clear on your desires. They go hand in hand. There's been experiments done over the years with, I think it was Harvard, if I'm not mistaken. Could be Yale, but I'm leaning towards Harvard, where there was a professor specifically who at the beginning of a semester said to his students, okay, I want you to write down what it is that you want to accomplish from attending this class. And whatever it was, whether it was an opening into a particular career or it was moving on to a next step in their education, but they were supposed to write it down in very clear, very specific ways. And then they were supposed to put it somewhere that they didn't look at it again, that they would look at it at the end of the semester. You'd be amazed at how many of them, almost all of them, had everything come to fruition. That's magical. And I know I talk a lot about manifestation, and this is a part of that, but this is a little different. This is, if you will, a little more woo-woo. And I like woo-woo. Not woo-woo as in not being understood or being able to think logically, but woo-woo in the sense of tapping into the unknown, tapping into that aspect of ourself that is so glorious that we should be aware of it every day. You have the ability to focus on what you desire in all sorts of ways. You could do it with stress. You could do it by working too hard. You could do it by playing in your imagination. You could do it with a combination of things. But what if you have the ability to turn that magic on? What if you have the ability to magnify your own energy field so that it reaches out to help you get what you want? That's something we're going to work on in autumn. I mentioned before, I'll be up in the Berkshires doing a program. And I'm sorry to say it's not on the website yet. It will be hopefully before the end of this week, if not the beginning of next week, the latest. You'll be able to get information then. I will tell you that if you're looking to have the private cottage and full meals and be there the 20th through the 22nd, it's around $1,200, if I recall correctly. I don't have the prices in front of me. If you're just looking for a room in the mansion, there's a limited number. If you're looking to stay in the area, we can help with that. The point being, you want some magic? This is a magical place. The person who owns the estate has been working with meditation, with magic, with energy for years and years and years. And he has 3 psychology degrees in one area or another. So you're dealing with somebody who not only comes from that analytical perspective, but also that magical esoteric. And I kind of do the same thing. I go back and forth. If you'd like to join us, it'll be pretty amazing. And if you're thinking, okay, I don't want to forget this, you can always send me a little email via the website, which is halleyelise.com, or you can go to Facebook and connect with me there. I will say on the profile page, I think I'm at 5,000 plus, so they're not allowing me to take any more friends. Kind of funny. You can't have any more friends. But if you go to the Halley Elise show page, there is some space there. I have several pages that do different things, but they kind of all merge together with content. Anywho, think magic. Think you have the ability to transform your world into whatever it is you want. If you are pining over a loved one and you're sitting in that space of, I have to get back to my center, then perhaps take everything that that person gave you and put it in a pretty box somewhere and put it away out of sight, out of mind. Or give it to somebody that you know will cherish it as much as you did at one point. But take that energy and transform it. If you're looking to get a job and you don't really want a job, you want a career, you want to create your own space, you want to be your own person, your own boss, start looking at what would that feel like if you woke up in the morning and you knew that you were in charge of your destiny. What does that look like? Think in terms of my field is approximately 6 feet around me, and if I expand it, then it reaches out towards other people. How do I want that field to be represented? Do I want to come from a place of stress or worry or discontent? Or do I want to come from a place of magnificence, of direction, of focus? All of those things are within your purview. Now, I want to share, I had a client on the phone last night, lovely lady out of town. She is in her later 70s, I want to say, and has had all sorts of things take place as far as health-wise. And she wanted a reading for, let's say, the next 6 months to give her an idea on what does her future really look like, because she just went through something serious. And there was some things in respect to health that weren't so great. By the same token, there were some things that are so amazing for her as far as relationship that she was excited like a little kid before she got off the phone. And I've been working with this lady, I don't know if it's a couple of years. She's had good results, thankfully. And she calls not so much because she needs to know specifics as in December 1 at 2 p.m. this is going to happen. But she looks for an answer in respect to what does that future entail, and is there an approximate way to find it, or is there a time frame that really works? Thankfully, I'm able to say, okay, this is the period of time, or this is what you need to look at. I can't get over the fact that she is somebody who should be like a lot of people in this world that go, oh, I just give up. There's nothing I can do. There's no good. I'm never going to be happy again. Everything is bad. I don't have any money. I don't. And instead, she says, okay, what's next? What can I get excited about? What can I put my attention on? What can I do to create anew? Give some thought to this, because that's where the magic is. It starts at the beginning of your mind. All right, we'll be right back with the Halley Elise Show. And if you want, give a call in for your complimentary reading. And that's 800-565-1470. We'll be right back. This is your empowerment psychic, Halley, Elise, one of the top 100 psychics in America. For over 30 years, I have offered psychic readings, programs, spiritual guidance, and other life skill techniques. As our lives have become more complicated, we often reach for answers. Who are we? Where are we headed? Are we pointed in the right direction? In addition, we often are concerned for our loved ones. I have helped thousands of people navigate their life circumstances through different modalities of spiritual and intuitive guidance. Call me at 561-755-2166 and allow me to further explain how I may assist you in clearing the path of yesterday so today and tomorrow will be a success. Call me at 561-755-2166 or visit my site, HalleyElise.com. That's HalleyElise.com.
Journey with Gaia Retreat in Mount Shasta, August 19th through the 25th. A transforming and magical experience with Catherine Lorenzini. Embrace the energies of Mount Shasta and the portals of the root chakra. Channeling ascending masters, energy vortexes, sacred sites, crystal bowl healings, vision quests, and so much more. Visit JourneyWithGaia.com for more information. That's JourneyWithGaia, GAIA.com. You have been listening to a Top 100 Psychic, Halley Elise, your connection to all things spiritual, psychic, and empowering. For a private session, call 561-755-2166. Now, back to the Halley Elise Show and your empowerment psychic, Halley Elise.
Welcome back. Nice to connect with you again. If you're just tuning in, I was talking about a little bit Harry Potter, and magic, and the idea that we actually are magical beings and we can make things happen. Now, if you're one of these people that needs to have tools, that's fine, because I was talking about using the mind. Using tools is great. I did a candle magic class recently through the Psychic Gallery. We did a little kind of introduction, and then we went ahead and did a class afterwards. And everybody was very excited to create, if you will, their tool to make things happen. There's all different types of magic. Children are really great with magic. What do you think making a wish on a candle is on a birthday cake? It's I wish, I wish, I wish. Or when the first star shows up at night and you look up and you make a wish. Same thing. It's magic. And if you're thinking, no, well, that's just silliness, or that's just wistfulness, or, well, you have to just kind of play. It's more than that. If you allow yourself to believe that there's something greater than you, and you allow yourself to believe that you are a part of that, similar to going back to what I said earlier about the ocean and being in the ocean. You're not just in the ocean, you're a part of it, you're one with it. Anytime you allow yourself to be one with something, then you have the ability to make things happen. I mean, that sounds oversimplistic, but it's really very true. You do have to, though, have a certain frame of mind, meaning if you're constantly in a negative space, then there's more negativity that's coming your way. And it's not that it's impossible for it to change, but it's usually a lot slower. It's usually with a lot of work. So knowing that, why not allow yourself to have a bigger vision? And, we think in terms of ourselves. We think in terms of our friends, our family, our work, the people we know. It's very singular if you give it a moment to let it settle in. What if you permit yourself to think bigger than that? What if you allow your mind to go to not just your immediate family, but the family of the world? We too often today hear about horrific situations around the world, locally and abroad. We hear of these things that take place that show a lack of respect for life, a lack of dignity for human beings. So what if we say, okay, I'm not having a good day. I'd like to be in a better place. But for this moment, I'm just going to focus my attention. I'm going to focus my mind, my imagination on places that are outside of me, perhaps on the opposite side of the world. And I'm going to give my attention there in the sense of I'm going to envision And I'm going to hold a vision, a thought, an intention that people on that side of the world are safe, that a lot of the chaos has abated, or that it's completely abating. But I'm going to take myself out of myself. Now, doing something like this, you may think, well, that's a nice gesture, but how does it help me? You'd be surprised at how when you give of yourself and your energy to others, then you have the ability to grow everything. I just watched the Celestine Prophecy the other night. I read the book many, many years ago when it came out. I read the second book, actually worked with the gentleman who wrote the book, and this is going back about 20 years ago, I think. Some time ago. We did an event together, but it reminded me of the idea that when you give, and that means not physically give, you're not handing something over, but energetically, when you allow yourself to give love, not take, but give, you create more love. And if you're with someone who is not just receiving, but in turn recognizing that they're being given love and you are given that love back, it continues to grow. It continues to magnify. The same thing is true with creation. Now let's look at things a little bit more practical. So for instance, I'm going to go back to infants, babies. When somebody gets pregnant, there's not a whole lot of work there. I mean, well, you could say there's a little bit of work, but I'm going to say that the idea is it's a given that certain situations or certain things have to happen within a situation for you to get pregnant. And then we know that the baby's going to grow, and we know that at some point the baby's going to be born. Most people, when they're planning on having a child, don't worry, oh my gosh, okay, so do we have to make the mood absolutely perfect so that we can plan to conceive this evening? Do we have to eat a certain meal? Do we have to have certain lighting? Do we? No, they just say, this is what I'd like to do, or this is what we'd like to do, and they start working in that direction. What if we did that with everything? And what's interesting about this is when you're thinking in terms of a baby, bringing a baby into the world, you may be thinking about yourself, but not so much. You start thinking about another life. You start thinking about growing something special, something outside of yourself. How amazing is that? And when I say outside of yourself, obviously, I understand baby's in the womb, in the mom, but I'm talking about when you're in the throes of creating life, you're not thinking about, oh, I don't have enough money in this moment. You are not thinking about how am I going to get to work because the car's not working. You're not thinking about any of that. You're just thinking about the moment. You're thinking about the enjoyment. You're thinking about the love. So again, what if we take that essence and we put it outside of ourselves? We focus it on teachers. We focus it on police officers. We focus it on the market that's down the street. We focus on the neighbor who isn't well, or we focus it simply on a plant. And here too, science, it's interesting that science over the years went from, none of this stuff exists, this is all heebie-jeebie type of silliness, to, oh, we can prove that plants have life, that plants respond to energy, that plants respond to thoughts, that plants respond to your behaviors. In school, oftentimes when they have science projects, kids will take, let's say, 3 little plants. One, they'll nurture and they'll talk to and they'll make nice to it. Another, they'll nurture and talk to and make nice to it, but they give it plant food. And another, they will call it names and they take care of it, but just barely. And then they take a look to see which one benefited, which one did really well. Do you know that the one that gets the plant food typically is about the same in size and in, we'll say, quality of growth as the one that didn't get any plant food and simply got lots of love and praise? That's got to tell you something. If love can grow a plant as well as plant food, what can love do for you in your life? How can that be magical? And I'm not talking about love as an obsessive love. I want this person, so I'm going to throw love at them. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about something bigger. Think greater than yourself. Think having the ability to transform environment so that everybody benefits. Now, if you're looking for romance specifically, if you are more loving and lovable, then obviously you are more open to that. If you recently broke up with somebody and it still weighs on you, do your best to acknowledge how you feel, but then do whatever you need to do to move beyond that. And that doesn't mean necessarily diving into something brand new as far as relationship. It means learning how to tap into that inner love and loving yourself or nurturing yourself and loving others, loving a plant, a dog, a cat, doing something that just puts that love out there. There's a gentleman by the name of Twyman. That's his last name. He's known as the Peace Troubadour. I've talked about him on and off over the years. We also, many, many moons ago, had a little bit of work together, which was kind of fun. Anywho, it's funny when you think back over like different people that you've met over the years and had, whether it's 5 minutes or an hour or whatever, with somebody, and they make an impact on you. Anywho, I digress. The reason I bring him up is he does these trips and has done these trips around the world, gone into places where there was amazing strife, where there was war, where it was dangerous to be there, and done peaceful thoughts, loving thoughts, music, created an environment for people, taking people with him to maximize that energy. And for a moment, for more than a moment, while he was in the process of this with other people, things quieted. They got calm. They've actually recorded this. You could look it up if you want to check. The point I'm making, and I do a 360 here because I go back, you have more power than you realize. There is that innate gift, if you will, that comes from the divine. We are all born into this world with gifts and abilities. We are all born into this world with a core essence of who we are, which is an energy that's connected to the divine. You want to use that to your benefit? Then don't say, I can't. Don't say, I haven't been able to. Don't say, don't. You like that? Don't 3 times to say don't. Instead say, okay, I haven't up to this point, or I didn't in the past, but I'm choosing different now. I am choosing to have it better. I'm choosing for it to be bigger. And if you're not at that point yet where you're able to go within for yourself, again, be outside. Look at other people. Give something that is loving. And again, I'm going to reiterate, this does not have to do with material gain. This does not have to do with handing things over. This has to do with opening your heart. And if you feel as if you've never really been loved or you've never had heartache, someone said that to me not that long ago, that they have never experienced heartache. And I've been pondering it for some time, close to 2 years actually. It dawned on me the reason that they've never had heartache is because they've never really given their heart. You have to be completely open to giving to be able to receive. You have to be open to receiving to really feel. And you have to really feel to know good and bad. And anytime you experience, and this applies not just to, again, love, but this is relationships with family, this is work related, this has to do with the dog that's unruly and you can't train them. Anytime you give love and you just allow, things transform. We'll be right back with the Halley Elise Show. And I do want to remind everybody, if you'd like to call in for a psychic reading, it's 888-565-1470. That's 888-565-1470. We'll be right back.
Journey with Gaia Retreat in Mount Shasta, August 19th through the 25th. A transforming and magical experience with Catherine Lorenzini. Embrace the energies of Mount Shasta and the portals of the root chakra. Channeling ascending masters, energy vortexes, sacred sites, crystal bowl healings, vision quests, and so much more. Visit JourneyWithGaia.com for more information. That's JourneyWithGaia, GAIA.com.
Hi, it's Halley Elise, your empowerment psychic, and it's time to take a few moments from your busy day, unwind, and be inspired as you listen to Insights. I am a top 100 psychic, speaker, and author, and I invite you to join me Tuesdays noontime on WNN Radio. I look forward to speaking with you.
You have been listening to a Top 100 Psychic, Halley Elise, your connection to all things spiritual, psychic, and empowering. For a private session, call 561-755-2166. Now, back to the Halley Elise Show and your empowerment psychic, Halley Elise.
Welcome back. It's funny. Sometimes the phone rings off the hook, and other times it's quiet. It seems today is a quiet day. And it was interesting when I was coming in. I was feeling I just need to be zen and be peaceful today, which means that you folks get to listen to me talk. And I find that a lot of times people say, how do you do that? How do you just keep talking like that? Are you familiar with the term yenta? I mean, somebody who keeps talking, I'm a yenta from way back. Or as somebody told me once years ago, gift of gab, I don't have a problem with keeping a conversation going, even if it's one-sided. Can you imagine? Anyways, if you'd like to call in, I'm just going to reiterate, it's 888-565-1470. If you heard the commercial for Journey with Gaia, or Journey to Gaia, it's with a friend of mine, Catherine Lorenzini. She's brilliant. She really is. If you have an opportunity to take this trip to Mount Shasta, you won't be disappointed. And that is separate from the autumn equinox that I'm doing. Totally different areas. Yet both very powerful, both very empowering, and both very spiritual. If you want to connect with the earth, you want to feel as if there's magic in the air, and that's the theme today, magic, as you can tell, then definitely check out Journey to Gaia. I believe that you will find it something that stays with you for the rest of your life. Catherine started out by attending a program in Mount Shasta herself, and she was so enthralled and so transformed that she continued to travel there over time. And she herself is a very spiritual being. She's owned a metaphysical shop before and done a lot of work with angels and guides. Somebody that you'd like to connect with, really beautiful soul and very capable of helping guide you on a trip to Mount Shasta. So just something to keep in mind. Okay, I do want to mention last week we were at Junior's. I think it was on Wednesday. And if you watched that show and thought I was kind of quirky and out there, gotta tell you, it was so hot I could not cool down. And I happened to look at the broadcast afterwards and thought, oh no, because there were lots of weird, quirky little movements and I was hyped up, and I realized it's because I just was overheated. You know how some people just pass out? I was getting close to that point. I was really grateful to be complete with the show that day so that I could go hide in the air conditioner in my car. Junior's was a great place, though. Everybody there was lovely. If you're wondering Junior's where, it is a restaurant in Meisner Park. So if you haven't had a chance to check it out, check it out. I think you'll enjoy it. Food is great, and the owner and the staff, very nice, very accommodating. Because we stayed and we chit-chatted with some folks afterwards, after the show. Okay, so little, if you will, perk there for Juniors. But it was nice of them to accommodate us. And our AMP2 staff is over there on a regular basis each week, putting on shows. If you ever want to pop in and watch a show live, you're welcome to do that. As far as in studio, we don't really have the space to be able to do a big group. So it's just me on the radio and guests. I do have some guests lined up that will be coming in the next several weeks here. I was talking with one of them today. I'd love to give you specifics right now, but you have to wait. And if you're thinking, oh God, there she goes again. Really and truly, I'm constantly trying to juggle the calendar at the office and the calendar for the clients on the phone from out of the country, and then the folks that are coming on here. Sometimes it takes me a while to know which one is which. But as soon as I have that information in front of me, I will share it. If you are thinking, well, when is that going to be? Go on Facebook. All kidding aside, that seems to be a great way for my assistant to put information up, and it makes it very accessible. So you have the Halley Elise Show on Facebook. You have Halley Elise as far as the profile page. You have the Psychic Gallery. And I'm trying to think. I thought we had something else. Oh, yes, my website. How do you like that? Which is HalleyElise.com. Let me give you that address. If you haven't visited the site, you might want to check it out. There's a lot of information on there. It's not just, hey, here I am, let's give you sales. I have a little quickie on the homepage, landing page for you, which is something that you can use to de-stress and to shift your mental state very quickly. And that's totally for free. It's right there when you go to the page. But there's a lot of comprehensive information throughout the site. So it's HalleyElise.com. That's HalleyElise.com. Back to Facebook, we have multiple pages because of different things. When I first started Facebook, I wasn't quite sure how it worked, and I put all my efforts into the profile page. It wasn't till way after that I realized, oops, I needed to create the radio page, I needed to create the other page, and so there's like lots of followers on one thing, but not as many on the other. It's I'll say a hodgepodge till it all gets together. There's also Twitter. And I always forget that. Somebody reminded me the other day, what about Twitter? Do you interact on Twitter? And I thought, oh my goodness, I almost forgot about the folks on Twitter. So I've been a bit more cognizant of that. And again, my assistant's been great as far as getting on there. But that's easy. It's Psychic Halley E. So if you want to connect with me on Twitter, again, it's Psychic Halley E. And of course, I'm on LinkedIn. I know there's several other social media sites. There's one that the name eludes me right now, that it seems to be The Buzz, The Thing. I'm going to have my assistant check it out, or I'll check it out. Whoever has more time, and then we'll see what we can do to share. Okay, I do, and I would like to know about what your thoughts are in respect to magic. So if you don't even want to call for a reading today, but you have an opinion about magic, I'd love to hear it. Do you think it's real? Do you think it's baloney? Do you think it's just a different form of manifesting? Do you think it's only for the movies? Please, if you get a chance, don't be shy. Give a call at 888-565-1470. Just dawned on me, I may have an 800 phone number on one of the posts that I put instead of my assistant. That'll teach me. I think I may have put 800 instead of 888. Okay, so if you're listening and you're watching, it's 888-565-1470. It's funny, when we took a break, my lovely guy over there was saying, hey, what's going on as far as the phones? And I was saying, I don't know, it's really peculiar because it's so busy sometimes, and then other times it's quiet. I guess the universe is being kind, because as soon as I leave here, I will be with clients again. So this to me today is kind of like Zen time, meditation time. Speaking of which, do you have a regular pattern for meditating or de-stressing? A lot of people say, oh, but I do yoga. And there's lots of different types of yoga. There's restorative yoga. There's hot yoga. There's yoga where you're kind of flying, aerial yoga. That's great. But a lot of that is, if you will, passive movement first, and then you go into that meditative space. But do you have a plan for yourself specifically to be quiet, to connect with the divine, to be peaceful? If not, it's something you might want to give some consideration to, because not only does going into that quiet space help you meditate, not only does it help you de-stress, if you take on meditation, if you take on a daily practice of being peaceful, even if it's only for 5 minutes a day, 7 minutes is better, but 30 minutes twice a day is even better. If you can do it a minimum of 5 minutes a day, you will find that your blood pressure is better. You will find that your mental acuity is better. You will find that people are asking you, what did you do? You look more youthful. You look brighter. Did you change your hair? They won't even know, why is it that you look so radiant, so healthy, so good? It really has to do with that meditation. It has to do with being peaceful. It has to do with connecting with that inner part of you that connects with the divine consciousness. And that's really what it is. It's not a matter of reconnecting, as many people say. It is more a matter of allowing yourself to take the time to be cognizant as well as conscious that you have the ability to connect. And that reminder is huge. Now, when you do that, obviously lots of good things happen in your world. And this is why I'm saying minimum 5 minutes. Anybody can make 5 minutes. Lock yourself in your closet if you have to for 5 minutes and just go into a peaceful state. And if you say, well, I don't really know how to meditate, I don't know how to do this whole quiet thing, I'm not quite sure, I don't get it. Like my mind's too busy. It goes doop, 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 doop. Well, that's okay. Occupy it with something that seems, we'll say, peculiar to your mind so that it gets quiet. So, for instance, perhaps you will say, what about one hand clapping? What does that sound like? And initially you think about that and go, what? That makes no sense. But what you're doing is you're giving that analytical part of your brain a task that doesn't make sense. And if you do that often enough, it goes, I'm going to turn this off because I don't need to pay attention to it. It doesn't make sense. And it allows that abstract part of your consciousness to open up. And there you are. There's that quiet. There's that place of contemplation, meditation, peace, that connecting with the divine. Okay, all this yakking, and we do have a caller. We have Linda on the line. Hi, Linda. How are you?
Hi. Well, that's what I want to find out from you. First of all, let me just thank you for a wonderful show, and I just love listening to your voice.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate that. Did you have a specific...
So I'm curious about
Yes.
my health, my love life, and my kids.
Health, love, life, and kids. No money? No, I'm just kidding.
Well,
That's always a good thing, too, right? Okay. I'm actually going to go to the kids first, if that's okay, because that's who pops up here. Okay, so eldest, better way to say that. Got a little bit of a challenge here.
Yes.
I feel like it's butting heads, war of wills, so to speak. Are you familiar with the term "pick your battles"? Choose your battles.
Yes, I'm learning.
Yeah, because right now it's more about what's important versus you're being in charge. You know you're in charge. You're the mom. It doesn't have to really be acknowledged right now. It's more a matter of, if you will, boundaries that are safe and having them be accountable for their actions. It's less about you didn't pick up this thing that I asked you to pick up, or you didn't stop and take care of, or I really feel like it has to do more with their internal growth than it does with having to do with the things that, you know what, are a pain in the butt to deal with, but won't make or break the relationship. You follow?
I do, totally.
Okay. Because this is a kid who has amazing potential. But this is a kid, if you push, will run the other way.
Yes, that's true.
So think in terms of what's really important to communicate. And think, too, as far as positive reward, this is not a child who cares about negative reinforcement. So, for instance, if you say, well, I'm going to take away so-and-so, the attitude is, go ahead. Well, I'm going to take away this, too. Go ahead. And you sit there and you want to strangle them and go, oh, come on. Something's got to be important.
It's an understatement.
Right. Try positive reinforcement instead. So, honey, if you can get this done by, and give deadlines, 2:00. We can go to the store and get that thing that you wanted, or we can bake those cookies that you wanted to do, or whatever the thing is. But think positive reinforcement instead of taking things away. You'll get more, because this is just a child who, I'm going to say, is learning their own mind and pushing boundaries as far as they possibly could push in this moment.
She's an adult and she's still doing it.
Yeah, this is still your child. And you know what? What you consider adult is not really adult yet. And let me explain what I mean here. An adult of 23 today, in most cases, is more, and I'm going to get a lash back from this, but I'm going to say it anyways. An adult of 23 today is more like an adult of 19 from years ago. Even though she's smart, even though she's capable, even though she has so much ability and potential, there is a level of maturity that's not 100% yet. And this is why I'm saying she's still working on developing that. I can tell you that she definitely knows right from wrong. And I can tell you that you will catch her periodically on the phone telling somebody something that sounds exactly like you said to her.
Yes, that's true.
See, so she does hear you. That's important. And that's important for you to know. So as I said, if you can kind of step back a little, think positive reinforcement, it's going to make a huge difference.
Okay. That's good.
Okay. She's the one that stood out most as prominent, that needed, we'll say, attention or confirmation on. All right, let's go to, you asked about health and you asked about romance. And I'm going to preface with health and say, obviously, I'm not a doctor. I have no medical training or medical background. What I get is more sensory. I hear, see, sense, smell, taste, feel. So that's what I give. All right, what pops up for me right away is a couple of different things. I feel like there is an achiness, or I'll say a discomfort, a sensitivity in the back. I feel in the leg something going on. I get chest. Okay, so I got multiple places here that are not like doing the happy dance. To me, this feels similar to, I'll call it an immune deficiency versus some sort of immune syndrome, but it feels like a deficiency. What I would take a look at, and if the doctor is putting you on medicine, but you're feeling the protocol isn't really, I'm going to say, in alignment with what you want, or you're not seeing a fast enough result, take a look at some alternative medicine that you can use in conjunction with what your medical doctor is suggesting. I feel like...
That's so funny. I just signed up last night for something like that.
Beautiful. Because I feel like that's going to make a huge difference because you're more in charge here. Because with the doctor, it's kind of, yes, okay, I know I have to do this and I'm doing it, but I'm uncomfortable. And I'm calling you and I'm telling you I'm uncomfortable and you're telling me just to stick with it. And that's not helping me.
Right.
Whereas going with that alternative as an adjunct, I'm not saying instead of, because I feel like you right now kind of need both, but using the other, you're going to find that your results become exponential. They're going to get better. The other thing that I get here is do some self-massage. Go from feet up. Don't go down, meaning use more pressure going upward, lighter pressure going downward. But I feel like having excellent blood circulation is going to make a huge difference too.
Okay, that's good.
Okay, so these are like easy things that you can work on, but we're in June, July, August, September, October, November. Okay, so I'm going to say by January. And keep in mind for me, could be as soon as tomorrow, but typically it's not that fast. It shouldn't be any later than January. So between now and January, I get you finding that you're stronger, you're healthier, and more important, that you find out that there are certain things that you do seem to exacerbate your condition. Whereas certain other things that you can do that you may not be as happy about make things better. I'm going to give a silly example. If, for instance, you didn't like the taste of broccoli, but you knew eating broccoli, let's say 3 times a week, was going to make you feel better, you might find a way of eating broccoli.
Okay.
So take a look, because I feel as if there are some activities that you're doing that you should shift slightly. So for instance, even with exercise, to me, I feel like more gentle exercise right now is actually better for you versus strenuous exercise.
I just found that out. Thank you. Yes.
Okay, so you're just getting confirmation so that you know you're on the right track. But this is what I'm saying. So it's kind of the idea of, well, but I love to do that. Okay, so if you love to do that, just know that if you do that, there is a result. There is, if you will, feedback from the activity. Whereas if you do things more gentle, you'll find that the result is one of feeling much better. So there's going to be gained awareness here. Okay. And then you also wanted to know about romance. That's a toughie.
You're telling me.
You know, all kidding aside here, you haven't let go of an old love, and it seems like there's a spillover. Anytime you're in a relationship, anytime you want to see something happen, I get like this comparisons. And it may be to a degree subconscious, but there are some things that are very conscious. I feel like it's important that you start recognizing that was then, this is now. And I don't mean to be facetious. I know that in this moment, what you really want is to have that sense of being settled, of being connected, of longevity. And yet, you seem to be fighting with yourself here, because when you see certain things, you dismiss them because other things aren't exactly like somebody else.
Could this old love be revived?
My heart tells me that there's always going to be feelings there, but I don't see it as a future relationship.
Okay.
I'm sorry, because
That's all right.
it would be so nice to just say, hey, I'm going to pick up the phone and everything's going to move forward and we're going to live happily ever after. That would be the best, wouldn't it?
Mm-hmm.
But with this individual, no, I get feelings there, but I also feel like you know that you're both really different people. And that sounds very trite, but it's really very true in this situation.
Is there somebody new on the horizon?
You've got somebody before, I'm going to say the end of August, coming into your periphery here. I want to say work between now and August on I'm open to a new love versus I want love. And you'll find that the door will open to this individual.
Okay.
But part of this, really and truly, is acknowledging that the past is the past. You know, kind of honor it, say thank you. Maybe even create a little ceremony for yourself where you put together some things that are beautiful to honor what was and then release it. Because if you do that, it'll speed up what comes next for you. And what comes next is more joy and is more excitement, which is good because you don't like being bored in a relationship.
True.
So the good things are coming, but you can speed up the process if you work on you just a little bit. All right, my friend?
Okay. That sounds really good. Thank you so much. And one more thing. My son, does he find some professional or successful financial progress?
Wait. Say that one more time. That was a
My
mouthful.
son, he's having trouble, occupationally.
Yeah, that's because I feel like he studied for something that he doesn't really want to do.
Yeah. Where should he head? Can you guess where he could head for?
Okay. Are you aware that he's actually a good storyteller? And not that he needs to go into specifically becoming a writer, but I feel like if there is a way for him to perhaps get paid to blog or paid to be involved with the news or something on that lines, and oh, wow, I get major confirmation there. He would be so happy. Even if he did it from a different end, meaning he could write reviews on stores or restaurants, or I just get anything having to do with using his ability to tell stories to write. He's got a gift. And
Yes, I know.
he loves doing it. He really does. Believe it or not, we've got to take a break, but maybe
thank you very much for your help.
Okay, and maybe you can just kind of say to him, honey, do that part-time. See how he feels about it, because he needs to do something to make his heart happy.
Thank you so much.
Okay,
You've been wonderful.
take good care. Bye-bye. We're going to take a quick little break, and we'll be right back with the Halley Elise Show. Thank you. This is your empowerment psychic, Halley Elise, one of the top 100 psychics in America. For over 30 years, I have offered psychic readings, programs, spiritual guidance, and other life skill techniques. As our lives have become more complicated, we often reach for answers. Who are we? Where are we headed? Are we pointed in the right direction? In addition, we often are concerned for our loved ones. I have helped thousands of people navigate their life circumstances through different modalities of spiritual and intuitive guidance. Call me at 561-755-2166 and allow me to further explain how I may assist you in clearing the path of yesterday so today and tomorrow will be a success. Call me at 561-755-2166 or visit my site HalleyElise.com. That's HalleyElise.com.
Journey with Gaia Retreat in Mount Shasta, August 19th through the 25th. A transforming and magical experience with Catherine Lorenzini. Embrace the energies of Mount Shasta and the portals of the root chakra. Channeling ascending masters, energy vortexes, sacred sites, crystal bowl healings, vision quests, and so much more. Visit JourneyWithGaia.com for more information. That's JourneyWithGaia, GAIA.com. You have been listening to a Top 100 Psychic, Halley Elise, your connection to all things spiritual, psychic, and empowering. For a private session, call 561 888-755-2166. Now, back to the Halley Elise Show and your empowerment psychic, Halley Elise.
Hello again, and welcome back. If you'd like to call in for a little quick complimentary reading, it's 888-565-1470. I can't believe how the hour is flying by. It's amazing. You get in and poof, there it goes. It's that whole time thing that we have to keep an eye on, right? All right, so in our remaining time today, I do want to remind everybody that the first Wednesday of the month is the Psychic Gallery. If you've not attended my Psychic Gallery, I'm in my 8th year. We have a great time. I mean, I'm not saying that because it's mine. I'm saying because we really do. And to me, it's important that anybody who comes has a good time. We don't just do the psychic thing, meaning it's about really raising spiritual consciousness. It's about connecting with like-minded people. It's about having fun. And it's from 7:30 till 9:30, depending on the number of people. And the reason I say that is I make sure, unless I've got an exceptionally large group, but even then I usually try to push it, I make sure to give everybody a reading who is there. So whether it's 20, 30, 40 people, easy. I make sure that nobody leaves without getting some information. When we have a larger group, more like 50, 60, then sometimes not everybody gets taken care of, but I do my best to give out little goodies also. I give out door prizes. I love to give out gifts because I love to get gifts. And this coming gallery, we're working on powering up. And if you're going, huh? What? It has to do with energizing yourself, both on a spiritual end and a physical end. So you're looking at metaphysical and physical, but something easy to do. So we are going to work with a couple of techniques this coming, I think it's the 7th, if I'm not mistaken, of July. And you'll find that we do all the normal stuff too. And what I mean by normal stuff is you come in and we do the drawing and you have an opportunity to see what goodie you might have won. Then we do some sort of relaxation technique. Sometimes it's a meditation, sometimes it's breath work, but we do some sort of technique that allows you to relax, to get into the moment, to be centered, as well as to connect in a very strong way with your own intuitive knowing. So you can create a spark there for more awareness. Then we usually have some sort of interactive type of spiritual exercise. Then we'll do our charging up, and you'll find out what that is if you attend. I'm not going to give away anything because this is only for those who come on out. And afterwards, we do the readings. So as you can see, it's pretty full within a short period of time. And as I said, everybody comes in, they have a good time, they leave smiling, they leave in a good mood. I have some folks that come every single month because they know that they're going to gain something of value. It's not always about the reading. Oftentimes it is about where are you in yourself, within yourself? How can you make that as good as it can be? And that's what an empowerment psychic does. They assist you in making now as good as it can be as you get a knowing about your future. I thank you so much for being here today. I look forward to being with you next week. Have a great week, and thanks for tuning in to the Halley Elise Show. Take good care. Bye-bye.
Journey with Gaia Retreat in Mount Shasta, August 19th through the 25th. A transforming and magical experience with Catherine Lorenzini. Embrace the energies of Mount Shasta and the portals of the root chakra. Channeling ascending masters, energy vortexes, sacred sites, crystal bowl healings, vision quests, and so much more. Visit JourneyWithGaia.com for more information. That's JourneyWithGaia, GAIA.com. Tune in every Tuesday on WNN at noon for an hour of peace, inspiration, and psychic phenomena with empowerment psychic Halley Elise. And be sure to visit HalleyElise.com. The opinions expressed on the preceding sponsored program were strictly those of its hosts, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors.
Talk 1470 is WWNN Pompano Beach and 95.